we didn't come here to listen to our, Rose Patio music. Although it can be bought still in reputable record stores right around the country. Oh, I'm lying! We've gone very, very modern in our old age. This is we're ahead of schedule, he says. Now he tells me. Usually, most functions I attend, we're behind. How to get blood out of a stone? Ask Julia. Nice one. Oh, that's a beauty. Carbon really ain't pollution. Have a go at that. Crap, it says. Fantastic. Actually, that is probably the most proliferated deception, if you like, or possibly we should just call it what it is, a lie. But it is not a destructive element within our atmosphere. If you have a look at the science that I have, I've been reading the science. I did say to one young lass before that this is not a new issue. As we understand, brothers and sisters, the pollution of our atmosphere, the pollution of our seas, the mismanagement and the abuses that have been carried on for many, 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 many years, going back to the Industrial Revolution. So this is not a new issue. But this is not what this is all about. We're not about stamping out pollution. This is about taxing people who don't deserve to be taxed. That's precisely the reason that I got involved. There comes a time, brothers and sisters, and I've been saying this for so many years, there comes a time in every man, woman's life when they have to stand up and be counted. They have to say, this is what I believe. And what I believe, apart from the fact that I don't really believe the science that's been presented to that side of the argument, I question the science involved. What I don't believe is that it's our fault. I am sick to death of some people in this country trying to make the rank and file, John D, you and me, feel guilty about every second thing that they come up with. Now, when you turn your light switch on, did you design that power? Did you design how that power is generated? No, you didn't. What you do is you're obedient. We are all obedient to the laws of the land. So if someone says, well, okay, we're going to use generated power by this means, whether it be water, steam, whether it be coal or whatever. We just go, okay, we'll add it up, we'll pay our bills, we'll use what we're given to use, to warm our homes, to fuel our homes, to cook our food, to keep our people safe and secure and comfortable in hospitals, whatever. It is not our fault. And besides, like I said, I doubt the science involved so very, very much that I wanted to come here to be part of what you are. And that is the strength, the heartbeat and the soul of this country. This country is the best and the brightest democracy left on the planet, brothers and sisters. And don't let anybody tell you any different. And we represent our right here today. This is our given right. This is what we should be doing. This is where we should be. Not through every timbot issue that comes along, but this issue is going to affect us and our children and our children's children and our children's children's children for so many decades to come. In fact, once it's hit, let's face it, I don't believe either side when they bring a tax into being and go, yeah, but when the crisis is over, we'll repeal it. Yeah, right, exactly, sister. Yeah, right. And I don't care which side of the fence says that. If they say that, you just know it rings hollow. Absolutely. And the thing about it is do we need another tax to fix this problem? No. In fact, what we should be doing is looking at the more pollutant elements that are released into our atmosphere, not this little harmless little bugger here. Anyway, brothers and sisters, you have demonstrated to me yet again that the wisdom of this country, the strength of this country is us. You value your presence here, so thank you very, very, very much for coming, for making the effort. Axe the tax and ditch the witch. There's one over there, there's a beauty advocacy scientist. Sit down and real scientists stand up. Can you trust anybody, scientist or no? How can you trust someone whose opinion is polluted and biased by a wage? How are we supposed to accept that? How are we supposed to think that, okay, these people are funded, the institutions that they work for are funded by the government, the present government, etc., and they're supposed to have an unbiased opinion?
Come on,
yeah, right, exactly, sister. Echo it again. We've got plenty to offer up for our argument today too, and I think that possibly what we should do is get along with the proceedings. Is that correct? That's correct. Yes. Now I've been told that the list in chronological order. Chronological, that's a Mexican word, meaning what comes after one is two. Our chronological order might be interfered with by the early arrival or the later arrival, depending on who turns up. Has anybody turned up as yet? Not yet. Okay, fine. We need to take a short break. Short's not a word I use often, but we're going to take a brief break. Keep going now. Chris Smith said, don't go on and on like you do, and we have dinner and we're sharing a couple of bottles of red. He said, because you'll bore the shit out of them, and they'll all go away. So, we're not doing that. Oh, hello, I've been given a pretty here. Hang on, wait a minute, let's do that. You ready? I know politicians that would dream about having that control over a crowd. But none of us are politicians, thank goodness. We have come together today because, brothers and sisters, we are of a common belief and a common thought process. But what really brings us together is our belief in our country and our way of life. This, and I won't politicise the rally any more than it needs to be, just to say stay focused on the task at hand. But I believe this, and it's not what I'm going to leave you with, because I'm going to be coming back, as you know, from time to time again over the day. But I think that if this gets through, I want I was told no, I won't go into that. But possibly the drive for this comes from outside of the country. I know that there's a few people within the audience that have entertained that, because I did see a sign, and I'm trying to find it now, that mentioned the UN. And something about no more money for the UN. Now, that was something I wasn't actually going to bring that up. But now that you've asked,
what about the UN?
What I have read, and I'm going back to the 80s when I first started reading John Pilger and other journalists who was an expat, as we all know, got a lot of flack from the lefties in this country because he doesn't live here anymore. Does that make any less of an Australian? I don't think so. No. Being Australian is not about where you live. It's about where you live.
That's it.
It's here.
In your heart.
And you can take that anywhere you go. The great saying about where I come from is you can take the boy out of Coburg, but you can't take the Coburg out of the boy. You can take any Australian and put him anywhere else in the world, he is still Australian. John Pilger and many like him alerted us to the UN, if you like. That's a lie as well. A bottomless pit of money. A body of work that does what? Very little. I went to Cambodia some years ago and saw the aftermath of how they presided over the democratic elections in Cambodia. Ask the Khmer people, did they get a democratic election? Ask the people that were elected, did they get, not elected, sorry, did they get a democratic election? But then, I don't want to dwell on the UN, but beware the faceless men. I read that in a book some years ago, many years ago, and it's been good advice, and I still use it today. Beware the faceless men. The people who don't step up. the people whose face you don't see and whose name you don't know. Kevin wants a job there, just being mentioned there. I think Kevin and the present Prime Minister, if the press are to be believed, and let's face it, the Canberra press can only be believed if they get the date right. Well, that's their job, darling. They're looking after their job, sweetheart. Absolutely. Company men, true and true. What's that, darling?
Yeah, he's going to have control.
You'll have too much in the Senate.
That's terribly politically incorrect of you, sister, to say that. Don't get me started on political correctness. The greatest blight, apart from this bloody tax that we're... I'm glad I didn't write these things, but I'm glad I got the chance to read them out to you. Bob Brown pulls the strings and Pinocchio Gerard dances and lies. It doesn't rhyme, brother, but it's beautiful poetry. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. This is deep, this one. Great liars are also great magicians, Adolf Hitler. The world is not fair, and often fools, cowards and liars and the selfish hide in high places. Now, reading a little bit about history, the Greeks, I think they articulated what we now know as the modern politics. Is that correct? Are there any Greek people in the audience? Good on you, sister. A Greek person told me that, by the way. Quite nationally proud, and so they ought to be. That they articulated what we now enjoy or endure under the political system, the politic. And they said, beware of those that aggressively seek office. In other words, I think what they were alluding to, what they were trying to educate us in an unconscious way was, let's keep the power to elect our leaders. Now, I'm using up all the information that I had that I was going to spill out, a little bit in a little tidbit here and there, but you got to hear this jingle? Okay. The thing about it is, this government that wants to introduce this tax is not the government. Those of us, and I say us as Australian people, that voted Labor, I don't believe voted for the government they ended up with. And those of us, collectively us Australians that didn't vote Labor, we didn't end up with the government we thought we were going to get if we lost. So I think it's been a big surprise to both sides that we've ended up with the government we've got. Now I'll leave you to ponder that, brothers and sisters, and I want to hear this jingle too. Oh, you're going to sing it? A cappella? You're kidding. He's going to... Every time I look up and see that mask, I just... Pinocchio is one of my favourite stories. I still cry when I watch it. You going to sing the jingle? Sure. He's a very brave man. Yeah. He is going to sing the jingle.
Hi everybody, as you heard, my name's Phil. And it goes a little bit like this. I've stolen it from the English football. Tony Abbott's magic, he wears a magic hat. He said there'll be no carbon tax, and that's the end of that. Hey! Oh, you want to do it with me? We'll do it real slow. All right. Tony